The offseason, it is in full swing. So let's go coast to coast on some of the biggest moves thus far in free agency. We're actually going to start with the champs. Jason Tatum agreed to a 5-year, $314 million Supermax contract extension that keeps him with the Celtics through the 2029-2030 season. It's the largest contract in NBA history, surpassing his teammate Finals MVP Jaylen Brown. They now have their core locked in for the foreseeable future, Perk. So how many championships can they win in the next 5 years?
Oh, they better at least win 2. I mean, they're starting 5. They paying them at least, close to $1 billion, 800 million? They got to get at least 2 of them.
They're paying them what they're deserving.
I didn't say that. You didn't.
All right, let's go from this year's champs to last year's champs. The Denver Nuggets lost Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to free agency. The two-time champs signed a 3-year, $66 million deal with the Magic. So, Brian, how much of a loss is this for the Nuggets?
Yeah, this is obviously a championship-delivering player. The classic 3-and-D type guy that you need on a title team. When you combine the loss with Bruce Brown from last year, it's a significant downgrade. They are relying on young players to step up and fill those roles, and maybe they will, but they're unproven, and the West is only getting better.
But shout out to the Magic, being in a position to land a key free agent. That's more than you can say for the last 10 years. They are coming. All right, sticking in the West here. Last season's top seed just added another key piece. Center Isaiah Hartenstein, the big man, has agreed on a 3-year, $87 million deal with the Thunder. So, Zach, is this young Thunder core ready for the Lightning and a title?
Well, I don't know if they're ready for the Lightning. I don't know,
but coming.
But the Lightning, okay, yes, they are.
Thunder Lightning. The Thunder Lightning. Take
right now, on paper, Caruso, Hartenstein. This team has the inside track to the #1 seed in the West again next year. And if you're number 1, you can make the finals.
We talked about them getting interior presence, and now they have
need
a little
one
bit
more.
All right,
well,
lastly,
how much do they need?
How
They
about
need
this?
one more.
How about Chris Paul signing with the San Antonio Spurs, 1-year, $11 million plus deal? He joins 20-year-old Rookie of the Year Victor Wembanyama, the 12-time All-Star, average 9 points, 7 assists in his one season with the Golden State Warriors. So the Spurs, they will be CP3's 7th team. Look at this. His first 6 all improved in his first season with the team. San Antonio won just 22 games last season, so the Spurs are a fair bet to improve as well. We all know the value CP adds, but Janae, I'm already envisioning those lobs, sis.
Hello, everybody.
Look at the suit.
If there was one player that was literally made by the basketball gods of Spalding and Wilson for lobs, for alley-oops, it is Victor Wembanyama. And as a rookie playing without a real point guard, Richard said that all year long, Wemby completed 44 alley-oop dunks last season, 5th most in the NBA. So I'll show you exactly why Chris Paul is going to boost that number all the way up. No point guard, no problem. He's going to handle the ball. Look at it from the three-point line. He is calling for a lob. That is wild. And look at the tough finish. I mean, that is extraterrestrial, clearly, because he's the alien. Again, watch this move. It's just cutting back door from the three-point line again. These are easy buckets. Help defense was just a step too late. It doesn't matter. He makes them pay. And again, in transition against my squad, he gets behind the defense. And this is just easy basketball. Look at that finish. Turnaround, 360. It is wild. But now, there is a new sheriff in town. You know how to make it a little bit of Texas, right? Chris Paul, the point god and the originator of Lob City, over his career, has assisted on 715 alley-oops, the most of any active player. So, Malika, those lob numbers for Victor Wembanyama going all the way up.
I wonder how much he's going to have to pay to wear number 3 in San Antonio, though. Thanks, sis. Look at this. Wemby was 30-1 long shot odds to win MVP before the Spurs agreed to terms with Chris Paul. He has moved all the way up to 15-1 odds now. That's tied for the 7th shortest in the NBA with Jason Tatum. So, Zach, I'm curious. We're getting 2 of the greatest basketball minds here in Chris Paul and Coach Greg Popovich. Do you think that Wemby and the Spurs are ready to make the leap into the playoffs this upcoming season?
I think they have a chance.
He's whispering it.
I'm not ruling out. They won 22 games last year. Some of that was a little tankery late in the season. This dude is going to be a top 10 player real soon. They probably have one more move in them because they still have some cap flexibility. I think they're going to be sniffing around 40 wins in the play-in race. I think they're going to be that good because Victor is that good, and they're going to get continued growth from their young players. And CP, look, he's 39. We'll see if he gets through the season. His teams play well when he's on the floor. I think they're going to hang in the playoff race.
I think they're going to hang in the playoff race. Also, look, when Greg Popovich, and we had that meeting, we did Wemby's first game, he said he was having to navigate the locker room. He had Avery Johnson. He had Sean Elliott. He had David Robinson when he came in. Then he He had Tim Duncan. He had culture builders. And now he has this fresh crew and crop of young, high-level players, obviously led by Victor Wembanyama. But he doesn't have the energy to run the locker room, to make sure that's there. That's why you bring in CP. That's why you've always brought in CP. He has helped every single team improve. We saw the numbers. We saw the graphics. I don't think the Spurs are ready to take that jump, but I think bringing in Chris Paul, helping to show these guys what it's like to be a true professional. This is the first veteran that they've had in the last few years, and it's a perfect one.
I have a rule, and this is my new rule, and I'm not breaking it. I will not.
Rules are meant to be broken, Brian.
I will not put a ceiling on Victor Wembanyama.
Okay, that's a good rule.
All right, that's good.
No ceiling.
That's a good.
You're asking me, can he make the playoffs? No ceilings. Absolutely. Why not?
Yeah, I get you.
Well, I mean, it's a team sport.
No ceilings.
Can the Spurs? Hell no. And Zach, you and Richard bumped y'all head. Play-in tournament, knocking at the door, hell yeah. Maybe what the Rockets were this year.
Yeah, that's what I
but
said.
we're talking, no, play-in, not playoffs.
I said
play-in.
Well, guess what? You win a play-in game, and all of a sudden you're in the playoffs in a tough Western Conference. There is no one better to read the tea leaves, tell us which moves are most impactful than one Mr. Brian Windhorst. What is the one move that you said, oh, wow, why would they do that?
Well, it's actually kind of two things going on here. We have the I-95 corridor, where we're going to see competition like we've never seen between these teams. Obviously, the Celtics are on top. The Knicks are powering up. Philadelphia is powering up. That's going to be, every time any of those three teams play each other next year, it's going to be a big deal. That's going to be a power base in the NBA. And then let's come out here to the I-5 corridor and take a look what's going on with the teams on the West Coast. Clippers in the middle of kind of retrofitting their team, trying to figure out where they're going. Lakers, do you go with the LeBron side, who wants to take a pay cut to add a veteran to their roster, or you to go with J.J. Redick and Rob Pelinka want to do, which is develop young players? They're kind of spinning their wheels. You go up the coast, all the way up the coast to the Bay, I-5 right there, right? Bay Area girl?
Yep.
The Warriors are announcing that they're retiring a jersey because they kind of feel bad because the way this offseason is going. So those are three teams that we're used to being at the top that are managing their situation, almost you could say managing their decline, with the teams in the East doing the exact opposite.
That's in your column days. That should be a column. That was poetic. And I feel like every offseason, Zach, we have this conversation. Is the Eastern Conference now the power conference? Oh, my goodness, look at the top of the East. The Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics are going to be duking it out. That's not exactly what happened in this past year. Do you see this as a power shift in the balance of conferences?
Top of the East is incredible. The West is still the best conference, top to bottom. I think, we'll see how this all shakes out. But the top of the East, and then you go to Cleveland, Orlando down there, like the East is getting stronger top to middle, to middle.
Cleveland, Orlando, Indiana. I mean, it's getting real over there.
Still waiting on Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Cleveland got some things they got to address.
He said something important.
No, before Orlando, I'm sorry.
What is the outlook here for Donovan Mitchell?
Kenny Atkinson was introduced today. Kobe Altman, the GM, said everything looks good, but he hasn't signed it yet. So we'll see.
We'll see. Does that mean that other teams could be sniffing around?
I think Donovan's going to extend. We'll see for how long he extends. That'll be the story.
I'm on fire. It's NBA, it's